fantastic against Leicester last Saturday, as Zamora tries to get away from the Arsenal captain Ødegaard. His dribble runs him into traffic in the form of Ben White. It goes out for a throw-in for Bournemouth, which Zamora will come over to take. Look for a few options, makes the throw, finding Billing. His pass back towards Zamora is poor. Saka finding Thomas Partey. Now back towards Xhaka, finding Zinchenko. Under pressure from Tavernier. Bournemouth really unable to get a foothold on this game. They've really sprung a few passes together, let alone had a touch of the ball. As Martinelli goes back towards Gabriel. Now towards Zinchenko, under pressure from Kiefer Moore. Finding Xhaka. Towards the Brazilian defender. Xhaka can turn away from Tavernier, plays it down line, intending for Jesus, headed away by Kelly. Moore unable to get on the end of it, the header by Gabriel, didn't have enough pace on it, so we'll have to mop up and go back towards Ramsdale. Has support in Saliba, won't utilise him, instead hammers the ball away from danger, tries to find Jesus, who brought it down well on the chest, tackled by Jefferson Lerma. Now opportunity for Bournemouth to hold on to possession, but they immediately give the ball away, and well, I'm sure that Scott Parker's going to be absolutely furious with his side there for giving the ball away so cheaply, because they're not going to have a lot of possession against his Arsenal side.
No, and Scott Parker would have spoke before the game. He's already mentioned in his press conference how good he thinks this Arsenal side are, but he would have said before the game to his team, when we're on the ball, let's be safe with it, let's keep it down, let's play the percentage balls. And at the moment, obviously you can play the long ball, you've got the likes of Kiefer Moore up there, he can hold the ball up, he's good with his back to goal, but do not be wasteful in possession. And they've conceded an early goal, which we spoke about not doing, and they've been very wasteful in possession so far. So if Bournemouth are to get something from this game, they are going to have to improve on possession.
Here's Ben White for Arsenal, bringing the ball forward, moving it towards the right-hand wing in the form of Bukayo Saka, taking on Zamora, has the overlap in Ben White, gets the cross in, can't find Ødegaard, and forward to Jesus, back to Martin Ødegaard, and Arsenal make it 2-0, and they are running riot on the south coast. Fantastic play down the right-hand side, Saka finding White, it fell to Jesus, his touch was heavy, but Ødegaard's there was mop up, and it's 2-0 to Arsenal, 2 for the Norwegian, and boy do they look comfortable, Ben.
Wow, Arsenal have started this game like a house on fire. They're blowing Bournemouth away on the south coast, and it's just a great run for Ben White, but Bournemouth are backing off and backing off and backing off, and he finds Bukayo Saka. Saka's got his man Zamora one-on-one. Ben White, questionable offside there on the overlap. We'll have to check whether that is offside. It's a really tight one, but he drills a ball across brilliantly. Jesus takes a touch, he's about to hit it, but Ødegaard says no. Oh, and this is a very close offside. Looking at it again, they've got the pixels out, Will, and I'm not sure whether this is going to start. Oh, he's giving it onside. It's very marginal. It's his toe that they're actually looking at. They've given it onside, but there's Ben White. He's drilled it. Jesus, in truth, it's not actually a brilliant first touch from Gabriel Jesus, but Ødegaard takes the ball off him, fires home, and the Arsenal captain's got 2, and the Gunners have 2.
I've got to say, from the studio pictures that we got, that was not looking like it was going to be onside at any stretch of the imagination. So thankfully the VAR cameras have slightly better pictures than we do, otherwise than we would have called it off for offside. But it's fallen in favour for the Gunners. It is Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2, and that is the worst possible start really for the Cherries in this game. 2-0 down after a little over 10 minutes, both goals coming from the captain Martin Ødegaard, his first ever brace for the club, finding himself in the right place at the right time. And well, with the way they have started this game, you could easily see Arsenal being 5-0 at half time.
Yeah, it's real worrying signs for Bournemouth, because Arsenal are coming again here with Martin Ødegaard and Bukayo Saka.
Saka on the right hand side trying to give it back towards Ødegaard. I'm sure Arsenal players are now just trying to be desperate to give Ødegaard his first Arsenal hat-trick. Looks so dangerous coming forward. The cross in this time well dealt with by Mepham. So we've got a throw-in for the Gunners, or is there going to be a corner? I think it might actually be the latter. It will be a corner kick, and a chance for some of the bigger boys, the likes of Saliba and Gabriel, to make their way into the penalty area. Saliba, Partey, Xhaka, all lurking around Travers, the Bournemouth goalkeeper. Saka will be the man that will take this with an in-swinger with his left boot. Still waiting on this to be delivered. Raises his arms, drops it. It is delivered towards the back post on a bad delivery, headed up by Gabriel, unable to direct on target, and that goes comfortably out of play for a goal kick.
He's not shy for the goals, Gabriel, has he? He got quite a few last season. He's good in the air, and the likes of him and Saliba, Arsenal will be a threat from set pieces just as they were last season. Martin Ødegaard, he started this game brilliantly, hasn't he?
He's been absolutely fantastic, Martin Odegaard. I'd probably say that every player in an Arsenal shirt today has been fantastic. Obviously, Odegaard's going to get the plaudits because he's found the back of the net twice already. Odegaard's back heel there, unable to find Saka, goes out for a throw-in. But this Arsenal side is entirely different to what we saw last season in the form of how they're coming forward. They're playing with real confidence, real flair in their side. They've been very much touted to be a top 4 contender this campaign after narrowly missing out. Saliba going back towards Ramsdale under pressure from Billing. 80% possession for Arsenal in these early exchanges, but Arsenal maybe making somewhat of a meal of it with the passing at the back as Partey under pressure from Tavernier finds Jesus, who utilises his strength well, turns away and finds Xhaka. Zinchenko on the overlap and Arsenal will flood forward once again. Here's Alexander Zinchenko back towards Xhaka, who holds on to possession outside the boot, finding Saliba. Now with Ben White again. Pressure from Pearson, but very much walking pace for both sides. White, it's a poor pass by Ben White, and Kiefer Moore can now look to break forward. He's got a bit of pace about him, he's got strength as well. Try and hold off Saliba. It's poor play that by Ben White. Saliba with the tackle. I think that's come off of Kiefer Moore last. It has. That will be a throw-in which is taken quickly, and well, Ben White can count himself very, very fortunate.
Fantastic defending from the Frenchman William Saliba there, but Ben White, so that's just a bit of lack of concentration. Perhaps, 2-0 up, taking the game a bit easy, bit complacent there from Ben White, and like I say, luckily William Saliba, his strength and pace has got White out of a bit of a pickle.
Yes, he's done very, very well there, William Saliba, doing his defensive duties when called upon. Zamora up towards Billing, flick on is blocked by Gabriel, won by Saliba, who turns away from Kiefer Moore, finding Odegaard. Now Partey under pressure from Billing, turns away from the Bournemouth midfielder. Back it goes for Partey, now with Odegaard. The Ghanaian once more, spreading it towards Ben White on the halfway line. Moves it towards Saka, wants to take on Zamora. Options limited for him, so he has to go back towards Ben White once again. Doesn't have the same amount of movement as he was getting as Odegaard. That's a lovely dummy. Then Jesus tried to utilise his strength. It's a really important defending there by the Argentine Marcos Senesi. Lerma back towards Mepham, back towards Travers. Again, lifts it high. Flick on, can't find a man in red and black, and Arsenal mop up once again. I can't remember a period of the game where Bournemouth have strung 3 passes together.
Bournemouth have been poor as well as Arsenal have been as well, but I'm not sure whether Bournemouth have been poor because Arsenal have been so good. Arsenal are not allowing Bournemouth to settle in. They've got that early goal, and that's what Bournemouth really would have been looking to avoid, conceding early. And now Arsenal just, they look a rampant mood, Arsenal. They look like they want more, and this is something that they've been heavily criticised for, especially last season. They score a goal and perhaps they didn't get their foot on the acceleration. They actually just sat off and invited teams onto them, but today they're looking forward, they're looking for more, and they're looking to be really rampant, and that's why the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool are so good, because when they get one, they want to keep scoring, and if Arsenal want to get to that level, then that's what they have to do.
Odegaard with the outside the boot pass, blocked by Zamora, holds off Saka, finding Pearson. Back it'll go towards Kelly. His lofted pass will find the Dane Philip Billing. Kiefer Moore holding off Partey. Oh, that's a nasty tackle there by Thomas Partey. It will be a free kick, and I'm sure he'll apologise. He's not going to be shown a yellow card by Craig Pawson, who's really hasn't had basically anything to do so far, the referee. It will be a free kick for the Gunners. It was a rather naughty one from Thomas Partey. It was very unnecessary.
Yeah, the two Arsenal midfielders, Partey and Xhaka, they're no strangers to a tackle, are they? I mean, they're certainly known for a heavy challenge, shall we say? And again, there it was just a bit late from Partey, and they're painful ones then down the Achilles. So he's probably lucky to avoid the book there, really. Yes,
and he's also fortunate he hasn't really caused more of an injury to Kiefer Moore, as Lloyd Kelly has possession for Bournemouth. This is probably the longest that they've had possession, but typical commentator's curse, they do lose it. Saka is then bundled over by Ben Pearson. Will be a free kick for the Gunners midway inside the Bournemouth half. So opportunity to get this ball further up the field as it currently stands. Arsenal would have 3 out of 3. Arsenal wins, they'd be top of the table. Leapfrogging Tottenham, of course, won earlier today, with Man City still to play tomorrow. Of course, they are away from home against Newcastle United. Xhaka back towards Gabriel, now with Saliba, finding support in the form of Ben White. down the line for Saka. He will just about keep the ball in play. He'll look for support in the area whilst taking on Jordan Zamora. Twists, turns, eventually he's forced backwards towards Ben White, who gets out of his feet, tries to loop it towards the back post. Not the greatest delivery there by the former Brighton man. Goes down to play for a goal kick. And I mean, although he hasn't played exactly bad, you'd probably say Ben White's been the poorest performer on the field for Arsenal in these opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, a couple of moments of just lack of concentration really more than anything, but I have to say, something I have noticed, that right hand side for Arsenal consistently getting 2-on-1s against Zamora, Saka and White, and if that continues to happen, it happened for the first goal and it led to Arsenal scoring as Bournemouth come on a counter-attacking.
They do, with Kiefer Moore getting away from Saliba, back towards Jordan Zamora, away from Ødegaard. Goes back once again towards Ben Pearson. A bit of space here for Tavernier. Goes backwards instead of trying to make his way forward. So picking up possession will be Senesi. Now with Lerma. Back towards Mepa. Under pressure from Martinelli, who we haven't seen a lot of over the past 10 minutes or so. Most of the Arsenal attacking play has been on the right-hand side. Partey. Has he been felled by Tavernier? He has. Be a free kick for the Gunners, which Arsenal will look to try and take quickly, with Xhaka finding Ødegaard. Now with Saka on the right hand side, overlapping Ben White, won't utilise him, cuts inside. That's brilliant defending from Jordan Zamora. Knew exactly what Saka was going to do, but Saka tackles back but loses out to Kiefer Moore. Moore will now bring this forward, holds off Ødegaard. He then loses out to the Norwegian. Good play by Ødegaard, sliding tackle by Kiefer Moore, wins possession back. No foul awarded by Craig Pawson. Bournemouth might have an attack of their own. Pearson with a crossfield pass, cut out by Zinchenko. Martinelli to Xhaka. Now with Gabriel finding Thomas Partey. Lifts it long, intending for the run of Martinelli. Header away by Mepham. Head down by Xhaka towards Jesus. He's been caught there by Mepham. Sure, it's going to be a free kick. It is an opportunity now for Arsenal to put the ball into the area from this free kick.
It is indeed, but it's better from Bournemouth. They're just starting to get in the faces of Arsenal a bit more. A few heavy challenges come in, asking the questions of Arsenal. But I just have to say, Martin Ødegaard there, tracking back all the way to tackle Kiefer Moore. That epitomises what he's about, and that's why he's loved by the Arsenal faithful. So you just see the Mepham challenge again on Jesus. It is a foul, and it's a dangerous position for Arsenal. You'd like to probably think the left foot of Ødegaard's going to deliver a dangerous ball here with the likes of Saliba and Gabriel in the box.
Free kick taken quickly towards the left-hand side in Ødegaard. Cross in, blocked well by Pearson. Going out for a corner. He's going to use his in-swinger, the right boot. Got a slight injury to his hand at the moment, Martinelli. A bit bandaged up, but of course he is okay to play. Martinelli with the delivery. Not a great delivery though, it is. Cleared away at the near post. Pearson helps it on. Back towards the Brazilian in Martinelli. Taking on Senesi. Quick feet. He's got pace to burn and he used his acceleration well. Fantastic play by Martinelli. Cross in, blocked well by Jefferson Lerma. Out for another corner. But whenever Martinelli or Saka are getting those one-on-ones on either wing, you're always expecting them to beat their man.
You are. It's a really tough start for Senesi in his full Premier League debut, and Martinelli breezes past in there. In the end, it's actually really good defending from Jefferson Lerma. But Martinelli and Saka, the two youngsters on the wing for Arsenal, just causing real problems. Martinelli
with this corner kick on that far left-hand side. Needs to be a better delivery. It is a better delivery. It's headed up rather than away by Lerma. Will it fall to an Arsenal man? Jesus' header. Cleared away by Billing. Saka gets a shot on goal. Turned away by a mixture of Billing and Senesi. Clearance is made. It'll be a Tavernier that mops up in front of Zinchenko. But the Ukrainian watched it all the way. Brilliant tackle by the fullback. And then his pass though is poor, goes straight into the path of Travers, who could then mop up. But that's a brilliant last man defending there by Zinchenko.
Fantastic defending from Zinchenko. Just really interesting that Arsenal actually just left that Tavernier and Zinchenko one-on-one there from the corner. So that perhaps be something that Bournemouth will be looking at if Arsenal are going to flood a lot of bodies forward, especially with a 2-goal lead.
So clearance made by Travers will now fall to Mepham to bring this ball further up the field for Bournemouth. Right hand side for Pearson, lifts it long, intending for Billing, turned away by Saliba. Partey's there to mop up for the Gunners, and Arsenal can just slow down proceedings once again inside their own half. We have now passed the halfway point of this first half. It is Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2, and hopefully, Ben, you can take us through the half-time with some even more action from what we've already seen.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, Will, with 2 goals, but Arsenal, they look well worth their lead and well worth the 2-0 that the 2-0 scoreline they've got so far. As Zinchenko is interesting, the sort of when Arsenal are in possession, the two fullbacks, Zinchenko and White, they come in and play inverted. So whether that's something that Arteta's actually picked up under Pep Guardiola when they were at Manchester City. It's interesting just to
nuances of his managerial style every now and again. I think this is definitely an Arsenal team that isn't sort of a Guardiola style B team. This is definitely an Arteta side with how he's managed and the players he's brought in. At the moment they are gelling fantastically well. I think we're really going to see how good this Arsenal side is once they face one of the big six. Because at the moment you'd probably say that on paper the start of the season has been on the easier side.
Of course, and then with Fulham and Aston Villa to come to the Emirates in their next two games, you'd expect Arsenal to probably pick up maximum points in them games. So, but you know, with wins brings confidence. As we look at Fabio Vieira on the bench, it'll be interesting to see if he will make his Arsenal debut today. Of course, midweek played for the under-21s, played a half for the under-21s in their 2-1 victory. And from what I've heard from Arsenal fans, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he got a run out of 45 minutes. Obviously, he would have loved to start the season fully fit, and considering how well Arsenal have played, he might actually struggle to get much game time in the form of starts. I think when Vieira was signed, he was never going to be a starter. He was always going to be a case that he was going to be a bit part player for the first season, maybe just learn the Premier League and grow into it as the seasons go on. So hopefully now that he is fit, he'll be able to get some minutes and be able to get a feel for this division. And to be honest, today is probably the best time to do it in for the 3 points. Yes, of course, we're only 25 minutes in, there's still plenty of football still to be played, but when there's sort of less pressure than maybe other games, then this might be the best possible time for him to get that run out.
Yeah, of course, and with the 5 substitute rule that's been brought into effect this season in the Premier League, there's going to be a lot of players on the bench that are going to be getting minutes, and it's really going to be a real squad effort, especially for clubs that are challenging at that top end of the table for the Champions League spots. As William Saliba brings the ball out now, he's been very good at that so far. He's opening 2 Arsenal fixtures, and Jesus finds Bukayo Saka, who's one-on-one with Zamora yet again on this near right-hand side. This time he cuts inside onto his stronger left foot, and he finds Thomas Partey in the middle of the park. Partey with his little flick, really it's a poor one. Jefferson Lerma, well, about to say Bournemouth could possibly spark a counter-attack, but Lerma's pass is, well, in truth, dreadful, and it's found the feet of Gabriel, who's now fined Ben White, who's seen a loss of the ball in the early exchanges, and his long ball there again is it's a poor one, and Smith looks to just hook it long and hope that Keith Moore can bring it down, but Gabriel's strength's coming to effect. And as we look at the match stats so far, no shots for Bournemouth, 6 for Arsenal, 3 on target, 7 touches in the Bournemouth box for Arsenal in the opening 26 minutes, 73% possession. So it's been a real masterclass from Mikel Arteta's men so far in the opening 26 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Arteta, as a sort of manager he is, he'll still try and find a flaw that he can sort of work on in training. I'd say it's not a perfect performance, but from the outside looking in, this is probably as good of as an Arsenal performance as you could possibly have hoped for if you are an Arsenal fan, because every pass seems to be working well. They attack with real intent, and defensively they just look so sound as Bukayo Saka is brought to the deck by Jordan Zamora. It will be a free kick, and we're also going to have our first yellow card of the game, and I don't think Zamora can have too many complaints about that.
No, he can't. He lost the ball to Saka, and Saka's strength and pace in the end got him away from him. And just as we look at it again, so strong and determined from Saka. We've come to see that from him over the past few years for club and for country, and Zamora has brought him down. And as you say, it's the first caution of the match, but it's a real worrying one because Zamora struggled against Saka and White already, and now he's on a yellow card. He's going to have to be extra careful.
Yes, he is, of course. Now that he's got that yellow card, I'm sure they're going to try and play it down that right-hand side and try and attack Zamora as much as possible to draw him into those fouls. He's going to really have to walk a tightrope. It might be a case that Scott Parker will feel enforced that he'll have to make a change at the half-time interval because he's not having the happiest of occasions at the moment, Jordan Zamora.
He isn't, and Martinelli and Ødegaard stand over. They should think the in-swing of Ødegaard will be the better option, and that's the option they take. And it's in-swing towards the back post, towards Granit Xhaka, who sticks out his leg, but in the end it's just slightly overhit the free kick, and Xhaka coming round at the back post unmarked, couldn't quite turn it goalwards. Training
ground move, wasn't it though, from Arsenal? Ødegaard lifting it towards the back post, Xhaka completely unmarked, and if it was just ever so slightly under hit from Ødegaard, Xhaka would have been able to put that back across the face, and surely an Arsenal man would have been able to tap home. It was a nice idea, just the execution just quite wasn't there for the Gunners.
A nice idea, and worrying times for Bournemouth as Granit Xhaka completely unmarked as Arsenal look to get the ball on the deck. And here's Ben White. I mentioned he's seen a lot of the ball, and he really has. I feel like I've said his name 8 or 9 times on commentary already. And here's William Saliba now. Again, he's happy to drive forward, comfortable on the ball at centre-back, and that's what Mikel Arteta's brought him in for. That's what he wants. 2 centre-backs in Gabriel and Saliba that are comfortable on the ball. And here's Alexander Zinchenko back to William Saliba. Ben White now for Arsenal, looking to go forward. He finds Bukayo Saka. Saka once again one-on-one with Zamora. Looks inside for Ødegaard. Ødegaard's fallen over there. It wasn't a foul, but he somehow managed to keep hold of it there, the Norwegian. It's brilliant play, and Partey's ball to Saka into Ødegaard. Looks for Saka again. Great interplay between that Arsenal front four. They just seem to link up so well, don't they?
Yeah, they've got a real bond and chemistry, these front four, and then Bournemouth gifting possession straight back to the Gunners instantaneously. I have no idea how Ødegaard managed to hold on to possession in that area of the field when he was on the deck. It was great play there by the Arsenal captain, leading by example. But yeah, like you say, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus and Ødegaard, that quartet really is just causing so many issues for this Bournemouth side.
It really is, and it will continue to cause problems for numerous Premier League sides, you would feel, but Bournemouth's architects of their own downfall at the moment, as Jesus' little ball into Saka finds Martinelli, looks to return the ball to Saka. It's really good defending from Smith and Mepham, but Martinelli, look how keen he is to win the ball straight back, and him and Zinchenko are putting all sorts of pressure on Tavernier, but Tavernier's done really well to win a throw in there, the Bournemouth man. But Arsenal's so hungry, hunting in packs like a pack of wolves at the moment, Arsenal, every time they lose the ball, just to win the ball back, and this is really tiring work for Bournemouth. But at the moment the scoreline's still 2-0 after just under half hour has been played.
Yeah, I mean, Tavernier, like you said, has done really, really well there in order to get anything out of that area, because the moment Martinelli lost possession, he hounded him down, like you mentioned, to ensure that he was going to try and win possession back for his side, but he wasn't doing it with any sort of malicious intent either. He didn't want to just stop a counter-attacking and pick up a yellow card. He was desperate to win that ball, was held up by Zinchenko as well, and Tavernier did really well just to play it off of the Ukrainian in order to win a throw-in, as it looks like they've got a free kick here for Bournemouth midway inside their own half. With 15 minutes to go, you really struggle to see any positives for Bournemouth. Maybe the only positive you can take is the fact that apart from those 2 goals scored from Arsenal, they haven't created too much else. They've shut up shop better now, Cherries, since going 2-0 down, but they're still not doing anything anywhere near enough going forward. No,
but when you're saying that the only positive is 2-0, it shows that there is a real lack of positives for Bournemouth. As Saka against them again, I think it's a head injury here actually for, can't quite work out who that is on the floor. I think it could be Ben Pearson. We'll get back to you on that, but Ben Pearson looks like he's down for a head injury, so there's a break in play. So just as we break in play, what do you think Bournemouth need to do to get back into this game, if they can get back into it?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's very hard to say, really. I mean, I don't think this long ball system that they're doing is working whatsoever. I think I'm not sure if they've got the quality for it, but they need to try and play Arsenal at their own game, draw them to press from the front, and that will create gaps behind them, and then utilise those gaps and try and get the pace of the likes of Zamora and Smith on the 2 right-hand sides, get them forward to offer support for Kiefer Moore, because at the moment Moore's had next to nothing from his teammates. There's been a very defensive output from Bournemouth as the ball comes forward here for Martinelli, as he's just overrun it with a poor touch. But I really struggle to see, with the way the tactics that Scott Parker has set up Bournemouth, that they're going to create much in open play. They're either going to have to rely on something tactically or personnel wise to change things.
Yeah, I've struggled so far as they look to go long here again, and as you say, it's not really going to work as Gabriel cleans them up, and he does well to win a goal kick-off to Veneer. Thing is, for Kiefer Moore, the long ball, that does play into his strengths. He's got his back to goal, he's a good hold-up player, but unless Tavernier, Zamora, Pearson are going to be running off him, and at the moment they're not, because I think they're so tired from doing the defensive work, they haven't actually got the energy to get forward. So, obviously Bournemouth are missing key players, the likes of David Brooks, Dominic Solanke, both probably would be in the 11 today, and that, like we say, it's a big miss, and at the moment you struggle to see where Bournemouth's real success is going to come from, as again they give away a sloppy free kick about 35-40 yards from goal, would think for the hand in the face of Ødegaard.
Yeah, like you mentioned there, they're missing 2 very big players in the forward, Brooks and Solanke. They're also missing 2 of their new signings from the summer, which haven't had a chance to really show their stuff, in the form of Ryan Fredericks and Joe Rothwell. Are they both Premier League quality? Of course, Fredericks was signed from West Ham. It's hard to say if they're really going to keep them up, those sort of signings. But when you're making summer signings and they're unable to have any sort of impact because they're already injured, it's never a good sign for them as a free kick is taken.
Yeah, this is a real poor ball this time from, I think it was Granit Xhaka that delivered that ball, and Arsenal again, they win it straight back, and this is what they've been so good at. This is what I'll be really pleased at, as Xhaka wins the ball back and looks to go long, but Ben Pearson's got a lot of time there, but again he's not confident enough to bring the ball down, and whether that's a lack of communication, his teammates not telling him he's got the time, or whether you know, he just doesn't feel comfortable on the ball because how much Arsenal are around him. And here comes Thomas Partey, and there's a bit of afters between Smith and Jesus there, but referee says wave on, and Arsenal play on anyway with Ødegaard now looking to find Ben White against Zamora. Ben White into Bukayo Saka. Saka out to White on this near right hand side now. Back inside to Bukayo Saka. Looks to thread a ball in behind. Ødegaard finds Ben White. He's got a lot of space. Whips his cross in, but in the end it's too floated, it's too straight, and it's a comfortable catch for Travers in the Bournemouth goal.
Very comfortable, really poor delivery from Ben White, for being honest. That sort of position didn't require a lofted ball. It needed a bit more whip onto it in order to actually cause any issues for this Bournemouth defence. It was the easiest of catches for Mark Travers, which he'll happily take all day long. I'm sure Ben White is just going to have a few words in his ear from Mikel Arteta at half-time, because I'm sure he's not going to be overly happy with what he's seen from his, quote-unquote, right back today. So if I was Arteta, I would see how White does in the 10-15 minutes at the beginning of the second half, and I might look to do a straight swap with Takahiro Tomiyasu.
Tomiyasu, of course, coming back from injury, played as a substitute against Leicester last time out, and I'm sure if the scoreline remains like this, Arteta will be looking to the likes of Vieira, Tierney, Tomiyasu, the players that are coming back from injury, to get them some minutes. Incidentally, it's the first time Arsenal have named an unchanged XI in their opening 3 fixtures since 2003. Of course, we know what happened that season. They went invincible, so not to put the muckers on Arsenal, but who knows what's in store for Mikel Arteta's side this season.
That's a commentator's curse if I've ever heard one.
It is Jefferson Lerma now for Bournemouth, and a welcome spell of possession as Ben Pearson picks the ball up deep and finds the new signing Senesi, recently capped by Argentina, so it shows, you know, Argentina have got good numbers, good depth in that centre-back position, so it shows that Senesi is going to be a good player for them. It's hard to judge him on a game like today where Zinchenko gives the ball away sloppily there. Xhaka wins it back well, but yeah, it's hard to judge Senesi on a game like today where, you know, he's not going to really stand much of a chance against this movement of Arsenal, and when Bournemouth are going to be so up against the cosh, and he's going to do a lot of defending. It's
very much trial by fire for Marco Senesi. He's struggling to deal with the likes of Jesus and Ødegaard. Of course, he technically had his debut last time out against Man City, and that was, if this is a trial by fire, then that's a trial by inferno, really. It's not been the happiest of starts for Bournemouth. They've been really unfortunate with the run-in that they do have, but he does look like he has the potential to be a proper Premier League defender, Senesi, if he can get the game timed, can adapt to this division, and hopefully just get a little bit of form alongside Bournemouth, because something needs to change, otherwise they could already be down before we even get to the end of September.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any easier for Bournemouth as their next Premier League game season travel to Anfield, but I'm sure Scott Parker would have seen the fixture list come out, and well, a few eyebrows would have been raised, but what can you do? Everyone's got to play the same teams, of course, this season, as Aaron Ramsdale now has the ball and finds a nice pass. Himself as the first choice goalkeeper, as Bukayo Saka's won again, 1-on-1 with Zamora. Ben White offering that overlap again. Saka looks to pick out Ødegaard, he does, but the Norwegian's touch for the first time this match has been poor, but look who's there to win it back. That man again, Martin Ødegaard, and every time he loses the ball, he's just so keen to win it back, and that will delight a manager, because when a player gives the ball away, when they're throwing their arms.
I think a few people maybe had their eyebrows raised when Ødegaard was given the captaincy at Arsenal, because he's never been a really vocal player, but he's a different form of captain, because today he's very much leading by example, and that is maybe just the different tack that Arsenal need, rather than someone who's going to have that loud voice and shout, and then maybe just delegate the jobs to someone else. Ødegaard's is going to get stuck in, lead with his quality and talent, and he's a player that will never stop running and never give up, and I think that is a very vital quality for a captain, and well, I don't think he's put much, if any, foot wrong today so far.
Well, a model professional, the former Real Madrid man, as we look at the average positions from the Bournemouth players, and it is, well, no surprise that all 11, maybe but Kiefer Moore, in their own half on average this half. I mean, even Kiefer Moore's on the halfway, so it doesn't really bode too well when you see them stats, and I still can't remember a shot being registered from Bournemouth, or even a touch in the Arsenal box, as 38 minutes have been played, and it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2, but it was slightly positive from Bournemouth's point of view. I mean, if it is any consolation, is that after 10 minutes Arsenal led this game by 2 goals to 0, and ever since then, in the last 28 minutes, there has been no goals, so they've shut up the shop in a way.
I haven't written down a shot from Arsenal since the 21st minute, so it shows that since that sort of onslaught and the bright start from the Gunners, they've really struggled to break down this Bournemouth defence as their long ball by Ødegaard finds Jesus under a bit of pressure from Senesi. He's done well to hold on to it, and he can't find Martinelli. The clearance is made by the Argentine in the end. But yeah, Arsenal, they're getting a lot of the ball, but they're struggling to break down the Cherries now, who are sitting back and like you say, have shut up shop, but they're coming forward again here, the Gunners.
They are, and it's Ben White again on that overlap. Pass to Moore. It's a really dangerous ball in from White. It was deflected, and it's going to go behind. I think it's gone all the way for a corner, and it has. Smith tried his best to prevent it, but Ben White, you know, we've slated him a bit for some sloppy passes, but that energy he's played with on the right hand side. I spoke about the 2-on-1s, him and Saka against Zamora, and White is keen to overlap, and that time it was a really dangerous ball.
It is a dangerous ball, but there's no one in the area whatsoever from Arsenal. That part was actually pretty poor from the Gunners, because the ball is delicious from Ben White. It's begging for the likes of Jesus to get on the end of it for a tap in, but the only person in the area is Saka, and he's standing maybe like 5 yards away from Ben White, so not the greatest in the form of support from the Gunners, but they've got an opportunity here.
They have, and it's Gabriel Martinelli with the ball in, and Travers was pinned in by the Arsenal player, so Arsenal could have had a free header, but it was cleared away, and Ødegaard for a hat-trick, strikes it up in the air. Jesus, really scrappy phase of the game here. The ball again is on the edge of the box for Martin Ødegaard, and he looks for Bukayo Saka, and again it's a poor pass, but the ball was just, Gabriel's a great tackle there, just to force the Bournemouth throw, and Arsenal trying to pin Bournemouth in their own half, but a real scrappy conundrum in the Bournemouth penalty area there.
Yes, it really was scrappy, not convincing defending whatsoever. It was good spot by you in regards to Mark Travers being completely pinned by the Arsenal front line, unable to get out and command his area. It was well dealt with in the end by the Bournemouth defence, but it kept looking like it was going to fall kindly for likes of Ødegaard, for Jesus. They had a handful of half shots that were well blocked by Bournemouth. There was just no gap really for Arsenal to utilise in any stretch of the imagination, and Bournemouth have just about survived. We've got around 5 minutes plus added on time, 4 stoppages remaining in this game, and well, if there is going to be another goal, it just looks like it will be Arsenal getting a third, but I think it's very likely this scoreline we're currently at is what we're going to see come at the end of the first half. But opportunity here again for the Gunners.
Beautiful nutmeg from Zinchenko there on Smith, and Martinelli's got the ball right on the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area, and he finds Zinchenko out wide. Can the former Manchester City man find a good delivery? He turns back, and then it's a beautiful cross from Zinchenko, just evades Bukayo Saka, and that's really dangerous again from Arsenal, and every time they get the ball out wide to the likes of Martinelli, Saka, White, Zinchenko, they are causing problems. And here come Arsenal again, Ødegaard, now Bukayo Saka, this time in for Thomas Partey, back to Ødegaard, who looks to go out wide. He does just that, he finds Zinchenko on the far left hand side. Zinchenko to Granit Xhaka, who's again occupying that role on the far left hand side, just as he did against Leicester's. Something to look at for Mikel Arteta's side. Xhaka was making them runs into the box against Leicester, and of course that found him a goal, albeit from some poor goalkeeping from Danny Ward, but you've got to be there to score him, and Granit Xhaka certainly was, and he's been, well, full of plaudits so far for Granit Xhaka in this new campaign as he finds the ball there and is fouled by a persistent Ben Pearson, and Bournemouth look to apply some sort of pressure here, but it's not in unison really, and Arsenal can play through it, and they do just that. And Thomas Partey has found Gabriel Martinelli one-on-one with Senesi. He beats him. The referee's given a foul from Saka on Kelly, but again Arsenal playing their way through the Bournemouth pressure, and I don't think Bournemouth pressing is where they're going to find success.
No, I mean they forced Arsenal a bit further back, but they just carved open the opportunity. Saka is clearly offside, even though he doesn't make any touch to it. He collides with Zamora, but I think it is the right decision to give the offside there, because he is clearly interfering with play there, Bukayo Saka. But Bournemouth, they just try to inject some form of energy into their play by pressing from the front, because they barely had that. There's been nothing to shout about if you're a Bournemouth fan watching on. They've really struggled to create anything of note. Like we've mentioned multiple times, they haven't had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. And well, I can't remember the last sort of pass that they've made inside the other half as well, as we see their next run in, like you mentioned, away from home against Liverpool. And then you'd say there's winnable fixtures: home to Wolves, away to Nottingham Forest, home to Brighton, away to Newcastle. Yes, there are difficult fixtures there, but every fixture in the Premier League is difficult. On paper, at least 3 of those 5 games are games that they've got to get points from.
100%, and it's hard to judge Bournemouth because playing Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool back to back is very hard, and we sent them at home to Aston Villa on the opening day of the season, and they were brilliant. I was there for that game, I was commentating on that, a 2-0 victory, and I thought they were absolutely fantastic, as poor as Aston Villa were. Gabriel, we'll just see the replay here. I'm not sure it was intentional for Gabriel. Now it wasn't. He isn't even looking at the man, but he has caught one in the face there, and they can sometimes be painful as the play's been stopped.
Yeah, it was a unfortunate uppercut really from Gabriel that caught Kiefer Moore on the nose. It will be a sore one, like you mentioned. There's no real intent there, but it will just have stunned the big Welshman. He should be okay to continue as he gets the necessary treatment, and we'll look to just proceed again from the touchline. Looks like he's actually been given a nosebleed.
Yeah, he's got a nasty nosebleed. In fairness to Kiefer Moore, he's not the sort of player that would stay down if he wasn't hurt. So obviously it looked worse than what was first thought. He's obviously opened his account already. Has Kiefer Moore? He scored on the opening day of the season against Aston Villa, and it was a fantastic header that as well. And Kiefer Moore, you look at a player like him 5 years ago, he was playing in the National League, Forest Green Rovers, and now he's playing against Arsenal in the Premier League. So it's been a real rise to glory, really, I'd say.
Yeah, and not only that, on the international level as well, he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet for Wales. He's such a handy outlet to have. I think most teams need a ball in their side, as maybe if you don't want to start him, but as an effective plan B, like Arsenal had for many years with Olivier Giroud. He was not starting, but whenever they needed a goal, they'd bring him on to try and ruffle up the defenders, and 9 times out of 10 he was getting a goal or an assist. So I think it's a very wise decision to have Kiefer Moore, or at least a player of his calibre, on your side, and he's very
he is indeed. And 2 minutes the referee's added on, so like I said, not really much has happened. We've had a few stoppages from Kiefer Moore went down on his head, as did Ben Pearson earlier on, and obviously the 2 Mike Nerdegaard goals. But other than that, it's been little action, little goalmouth action, I'd say. It's been an entertaining affair, but since Arsenal opened the scoring after 10 minutes, after 5 minutes I should say, and then doubled their lead after 10 minutes, there hasn't really been much in the way of real clear-cut chances. But Alexander Zinchenko this game has really impressed me. He's won the ball back 9 times. We're just seeing there, regaining the ball 9 times in a half is something pretty special, isn't it?
It's very impressive, and the fact that Arsenal have had so much possession and still 3 Arsenal players in the top 5 in this game have won the ball back the most times just shows how dominant they've been, as Arsenal yet again have won possession back with Ben White. Let's see what they can do for this attack.
Really poor Bournemouth clearance there, and Bukayo Saka's one-on-one with Zamora, and he's beaten him again, not for the first time today. And it's a really dangerous delivery of Saka on his weaker right foot, and it's cleared out, and here comes Philip Billing leading the counter-attack, but Martin Odegaard this time mistimes his tackle, and he fouls the tall midfielder from Bournemouth, Philip Billing. And we haven't really mentioned Billing much, but we know what an influential player he could be. In the Championship last season, he had a fantastic season and was really influential in Bournemouth securing automatic promotion to the Premier League, as Bournemouth look to just see out this half now and maybe create one more attack, as Jefferson Lerma has the ball for Adam Smith, who looks to go long, but again that long ball isn't great, and Granit Xhaka, it's not the greatest back pass. I think Gabriel's going to be at the end of it, but Gabriel then has to find Aaron Ramsdale, and it's fizzed back at the Arsenal goalkeeper, and a few warning signs there for Arsenal, and Ramsdale kicks out for a throw-in, but a few sloppy loose passes from Xhaka and Gabriel there.
Yeah, Ramsdale really couldn't have done much else with that. It was hammered into him at a real rate of knots, and he really struggled to do much with that. The Arsenal goalkeeper did well just to make any form of clearance onto it. So Bournemouth will end the half with some form of attack. We've played the 2 minutes of added time, so maybe an extra 30 seconds at most. But as I say that, I'm typically the master of the commentator curse at the moment. The half-time whistle has now been blown, so we're going to go into the break. Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. We'll see you in the second half. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus. Set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game, and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White. His cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right-hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half-time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel
Individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus, set off Gabriel Martinelli on the left hand side. His shot was well saved by Travers, but the rebound fell kindly to Ødegaard, who tapped it home into an empty net. 10 minutes into the game and it was already 2-0. Saka found Ben White, his cross into the area found Jesus, whose poor control fell to Ødegaard, who hammered it into the right hand corner from inside the area. Bournemouth, well, they've barely had a touch in the penalty area, let alone a shot. Half time, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal took the lead after just 4 minutes. A brilliant bit of individual play by Gabriel Jesus.
Well, leave that there because we're back underway for the second half of this Premier League encounter between Bournemouth and Arsenal. 2-0 to the Gunners after the first period of 45 minutes, and they had all of the possession and all the attacking chances. Bournemouth not a shot, nor even a touch in Arsenal's penalty area over the course of the first 45, which, as you would expect, has enforced Scott Parker to make the first few changes of the game, with Jayden Anthony and Lewis Cook coming on to replace Marcos Senesi and Ben Pearson. It's myself, William Maxwell, and Ben Rogers taking you through this one. And as Bournemouth just play the ball around the back and try and kick-start a new attack, I will run you through the lineups as things stand, as Gabriel puts the ball out of play for a throw-in for Bournemouth. So it's Travers in goal for the hosts. Mepham, Lerma and Kelly now the back three. Smith, Cook, Billing and Zamora the midfield four, with Tavernier, Anthony and Moore up top. And here is Kiefer Moore for the first touch inside the Arsenal penalty area. Turned away by Zinchenko, further out by Saka. Now with Cook, tackled by Jesus. Partey is there as well. As a collision of heads. Ødegaard's down. That's surely going to be a stoppage, as there is a head injury. It looked like a nasty clash of heads, but only Ødegaard's come off the worst there. And I can also confirm in regards to Bournemouth starting lineup, Zamora is also on a yellow card. For Arsenal, Ramsdale in goal, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba and White in defence, Xhaka and Partey the holding midfielders, with Martinelli, Ødegaard, Saka supporting Jesus up top. The two changes for Bournemouth, were they expected with regards to players they brought on and the players they brought off? What do you think is Parker's thinking?
It's a change of personnel, but actually I think it might be a change of system. Just looking at Bournemouth now, it looks like Lerma is actually in the midfield, so I think they could be a more standard back four for Bournemouth, with Smith and Zamora playing as fullbacks rather than wing-backs, and Mepham and Kelly centre-halves. Obviously not an ideal start from Senesi being subbed off in his full Premier League debut, but you know, it was a hard game for him to come into. I think you mentioned earlier, thrown trial by fire, and that's probably about the right explanation for it. He struggled with the movement of Martinelli, the movement of Saka, the movement of Ødegaard, the movement of Jesus, and that's been a real problem for him. And I think, you know, adding an extra man into midfield can allow Bournemouth to maybe get a foothold, and you know, Arsenal got a free midfield with Xhaka, Partey, Ødegaard, so 3 on 3 in midfield is more even, and because they did get overrun in midfield during the course of the first half.
No, they really did. I'd have to agree with all that. So that extra man will hopefully for Bournemouth shore things up a little bit and not give Arsenal the freedom that they were getting, as Saka finds Jesus. He's been felled by Kelly. Now the opportunity to bring this ball forward for Bournemouth is Philip Billing. Downline intending for Anthony. Vital tackle by Ben White to send the ball out for a throw-in for the Cherries. Billing will look to try and kickstart a new attack from. So I'm just going to leave it for a long throw from Lloyd Kelly, by the looks of things, seems to be the plan. So plenty of height and physicality in the area to aim for. Kelly with a long throw, headed away well by Gabriel, will fall back towards the defender Lloyd Kelly. Into the area, intending for Moore or Lerma. Lerma got the head onto it, can't find a man in red and black, but then well gathered by Ramsdale, who then immediately looks to set off Martinelli. It might just have too much onto it. Smith is there to recover, and under pressure from Martinelli will go back towards Travers. He does like a quick kick or a quick throw out Ramsdale from when they're under a lot of pressure. That one just had slightly too much on it for Martinelli.
He's a very intelligent goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale's. Bournemouth give the ball away sloppy there, but just about to say, Bournemouth actually come out of this second half with a lot more intent, and maybe that change of personnel and change of shape has done them the world of good. I mean, they've already had a touch in the Arsenal penalty area, not that much to shout about, but it's one more touch than they had in the first half.
Yes, it is. That is true. So already there's an improvement for Scott Parker, as Kelly will bring this ball up the field for the Cherries. Through ball intending for Kiefer Moore, tackled easily by Thomas Partey. Saliba will find Gabriel. Now with the Frenchman once again, William Saliba. Towards the Brazilian, who will bring this ball up the field. Away from Kiefer Moore, finding Xhaka. Now with Partey on the halfway line, trying to find Saka, who finds Ødegaard just slightly too far behind the Norwegian. And now Zamora can bring this forward. His pass blocked by Partey. Lerma away from Xhaka, spreads it wide for Smith. This is better from Bournemouth. Smith will come forward on this right-hand side. Zinchenko will need to come out to try and make the block. The cross is put in, headed away by Gabriel. Now with Tavernier to mop up and try and kick-start a new attack for Bournemouth. Mepham, under no pressure. Arsenal sitting back, allowing the Cherries to have possession. Smith twists, turns, looks inside and out, eventually decides to go backwards towards his defensive partner in Mepham. Kelly towards Zamora on the left-hand side. Anthony unable to find Zamora again, so it will be a throw-in. Not to be taken quickly, but it will be left. And Bournemouth have started the second half very, very brightly.
They have, and like I said, I think Scott Parker's obviously seen something in that first half, which thought that adding that man into midfield might give them more of a foothold. And judging off the first 5 minutes, what he thought was true, because they've certainly, like you said, been almost caused Arsenal problems. I think that was Mepham's header that into the hands of Ramsdale, but word, Ramsdale, what's he doing there?
I don't know, but he's really messed up the kick, and then the effort from Jefferson Lerma from around 25 yards out sails over the crossbar. That's really poor from Aaron Ramsdale. He's having a few words with Craig Porter. I'm not entirely sure exactly to what. I think it was that Jaden Anthony just faking to try and put the pressure on is what Ramsdale was furious with. But Anthony, he doesn't get any touch on it. I'm not sure he has too much to play. But I mean, I can understand the frustration, but I don't think from the letters of the law, Jaden Anthony's done anything wrong.
No, he hasn't done anything wrong at all. Jaden Anthony is perfectly legal, and I think perhaps Ramsdale's complaining because he might be a bit embarrassed with the kick he's actually produced there. Of course, Jaden Anthony, former ex-Arsenal Academy product.
Yes, of course, as Xhaka tries to get away from Lerma, tackled by the Colombian. Now Cook can bring this ball forward. Has he been felled by Jesus? He has. Jesus saying that he won the ball, but he's not going to get the decision going his way. And in fact, he's going to pick up a yellow card as well, Gabriel Jesus, for that tackle. We'll see a replay of it. Jesus was trying to track back all the way. He doesn't make any contact with the ball, so yeah, I think it's the right decision, the yellow card.
It's a silly foul from the Brazilian, and he's got that in him though. He's a tenacious centre forward, isn't he? He wants to win the ball back, he wants to be involved, and there you just say he was over tenacious perhaps, as Arsenal win the ball back there with Thomas Partey.
Odegaard finds Jesus. Now Bukayo Saka can bring this ball forward for the Gunners. Jesus in support to his left, but he's being well marshalled by Kelly and Anthony. Saka goes down, and it is a clear free kick as well. There will be an opportunity for the free kick to be put into the areas. I think Anthony was just having maybe a frustration with Ben White, that he thought there was a lash out. I didn't see a great deal in it, but it will be a free kick all the same. Opportunity for the Gunners to put the ball into the penalty area, and it's going to be either Odegaard or Martinelli that will stand over this for Arsenal. Saliba, Xhaka, Partey, Jesus, all in the line to aim for. Gabriel just looking at the edge. I imagine he'll make a late run. So Odegaard and Martinelli try and work out where they want to go with this free kick. They go short. Odegaard back to Martinelli. Looks to take on Cook. Gets towards the byline. Cross is decent towards the back post. Flicks on by Lerma. Only as far as Xhaka. Xhaka to the edge. It's hit by Saliba. Oh, what a finish! What a finish that is by the defender, William Saliba. He's curled that into the top corner under no pressure, and boy, that is a wonderful effort by the Frenchman. I don't think many people, including me and you in the studio, Ben, thought that was going to end up in the back of the net.
Oh wow, it's a centre forwards finish from the big Frenchman. Last week against Leicester, he's putting the ball in the wrong net into his own goal, scoring that own goal, but this time it's in the right net. And tell you what, it's a training ground routine from Arsenal, that free kick. Martinelli's ball's so dangerous. Granit Xhaka brings the ball down. Everyone thinks he's going to shoot, including me and you, but instead he lays the pass off brilliantly to the edge of the box. Lovely weight on it, and it's coming beautifully for William Saliba on his weaker left foot, may I just add, and he's curled it like an accomplished centre forward who scores 30 goals a season into the top corner. Travers, absolutely no chance. It's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 3, Will.
Wow, well, if that is his weaker foot, I'm sure you don't want to see what his stronger foot can do from the boot of William Saliba. What a finish that is. And just take a reaction of Alexander Zinchenko to that goal going in, put his hands in his head, that he could not believe how it ended up in the back of the net. Arteta and the Arsenal staff also celebrate. What a finish that is. And, well, it makes things that much harder for Bournemouth as Mepham slides in to stop Jesus running around him. Gabriel's pass is blocked, turned away by Cook. The flick on will find Jaden Anthony. Is there a way back for Bournemouth, do you see, Ben?
Not now the third goal's gone in. I was really impressed with the way they start. I know you was too. The opening 6-7 minutes of this half, they began to get a foothold, began to force Arsenal back a bit, but just you see Arsenal, they got that counter-attack, they won that free kick, and to score from that free kick in the manner they did as well, I think that's really going to hurt Bournemouth. I mean, you know what Scott Parker's teams are like, they'll keep fighting to the end, and they come again here with Jefferson Lerma.
Lerma's cross well blocked by Gabriel, goes out of play for, I believe, a corner kick for Bournemouth, so an opportunity maybe to pull a goal back and maybe kickstart what would be an unlikely comeback. It was a few seasons ago that Arsenal themselves pulled off a 3-0 down to 3-0 comeback at of course, Bournemouth Stadium. So Vitality watches on as the cross is put in. It's not a bad one, flapped away by Ramsdale. It'll be Xhaka that makes a clearance, only as far as Jesus under pressure, through the legs of Mepham. Tavernier will look for support with Cook towards the right-hand side. Now with support is Lerma. Jefferson Lerma under no pressure, goes back again towards Kelly, under pressure from Ødegaard now. Anthony on the left-hand side, looking to take on Saka, twists, turns, finds support. Zamora tries to go back to Anthony, well blocked. It'll be a throw-in for Bournemouth midway inside the Arsenal half. Having to do more and more defending Arsenal, but even so, they're not being put under much pressure. However, this set piece could have easily ended up anywhere, and it was very much pinball stuff inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, they stuck Chris Mepham on Aaron Ramsdale, and Ramsdale is not the biggest goalkeeper in the world anyway, is he? And he's really struggled to get round the big Bournemouth centre-half there, and like I say, well, he did flap it in. Lloyd Kelly's long throw-in comes dangerous, and we've seen Arsenal susceptible in recent years to these long throw-ins, to these long balls into the box, so perhaps that's something that Scott Parker was speaking about before the game.
Yes, I'm sure many Arsenal fans still have nightmares about Rory Delap of Stoke City and his ability to ping a long throw into the area. We're just seeing another replay of that goal, and the more replays you look, the better it gets, doesn't it, Ben?
It's curling away from Travers.
Does it kiss the crossbar on the way in?
I think it might just come off the underside of the crossbar. It's an absolutely brilliant strike from William Saliba, and what a way to open your account. And if he wasn't a fan favourite before that, he definitely is now. Yeah,
I mean, it's rare for an Arsenal player to be a fan favourite before they've even kicked a ball for the club. But here's Martinelli for Arsenal. This could be 4-0. It's Martinelli who was being well tracked all the way by Adam Smith. It wasn't the greatest effort there by the Brazilian. I'm not sure it took a deflection either. It goes comfortably wide and over. You'd expect better from him.
You would, and I think Granit Xhaka's absolutely fuming because, again, it's Xhaka on that left-hand side who's in absolutely acres of space, and well, struggling to get back there is Smith, and Martinelli doesn't even really look up and see Granit Xhaka there. Xhaka's waving his arms around to say, look, square the ball to me, but Martinelli's effort isn't great. It was good defending from Smith in the end, but if Bournemouth are going to be that easy to carve open on the counter-attack, this could be a long last half an hour for them.
So here in possession is Kiefer Moore, tackled well by Saliba. Out for a throw-in for the Gunners. You can see Scott Parker looking on, wondering what he can do to try and change the fortunes of his side. Now with another throw-in for the Gunners in the form of Ben White. He's having to just hold down the fort a little bit, not giving much in the way of movement. Partey will come in, finds Zinchenko, tackled well by Tavernier. Here's Gabriel, moving it towards the left-hand side in the form of Granit Xhaka. Partey, back it goes towards Gabriel once again. Bournemouth trying to press from the front. Goes all the way back towards Ramsdale. Ramsdale goes short towards Gabriel. Can Arsenal get themselves out of a sticky situation? They can, in finding Zinchenko, who just about found Jesus under pressure. Zinchenko, a little back heel, runs into traffic, but it will be a free kick for the earlier infringement on Jesus. And despite the frustrations clearly being shown from the Bournemouth players, I don't think they can have too many complaints about that.
No, it was a foul, and Gabriel Jesus, he's so good at that, isn't he? You wouldn't necessarily see him as a hold-up striker, but when you see him play, he's so strong with his back to goal, and that's what makes him so dangerous. He's quick, he's strong, his dribbling's brilliant, and that's why Arsenal fans are so excited about him.
Yeah, so here's Saliba finding Ødegaard, and back towards Gabriel. Line for Martinelli. He's been caught surely there by Adam Smith. That's going to be a free kick for the Gunners on the halfway line. Is Smith going to avoid a caution? He is not. It will be a yellow card to Adam Smith, and it was a nice one, a late one on the ankle of Martinelli. Adam Smith still protesting his innocence. We'll see another replay of that foul. He was late to the party. He's just taken the legs from underneath Martinelli.
He has, but I'm not sure it's enough for a yellow card. I think if you're going to give yellow cards for them, you're going to give a lot of yellow cards in a game of football. But Smith, there you go, 3 yellow cards this season. So every single game so far, Adam Smith has seen himself in the referee's naughty book, and well, it doesn't bode well for this season because he has up until Christmas to avoid getting 5 yellow cards. So that's 2 more yellow cards in about 3 months. Otherwise, he's going to get suspension.
I think it's maybe a safe bet for the future for Adam Smith to be booked, to be placed, as Martinelli gets away from Smith and holds him off as well. It twists and turns, still under real pressure from the Englishman, who's still trying to tackle back. Gabriel trying to find Jesus. Good tackle there by Mepham. Now with Lerma. Bournemouth just trying to get under the skins of the Arsenal players, I feel, with how they're going in with challenges and the press. Kelly towards the left-hand side in Zamora. Anthony tackled by White, out for a throw-in. chance now for Zamora to take this throw and maybe kickstart another attack from this left-hand side. Poor pass though, goes all the way back towards Kelly, who's got to mop up on the touchline. Through ball towards Jefferson Lerma, turns away from Partey. Now with Billing, could set off Anthony. Held up. This pass is blocked easily by Ben White, and just being a little bit slow with their build-up play at the moment. Bournemouth, they're trying to take far too much time to hold on to possession, and they're sort of stopping all their attacking momentum.
They are, and Arsenal are quite solid in their shape, to be fair, so it is going to be difficult for Bournemouth. I think they just need a bit more movement. Perhaps they've brought on the likes of Jaden Anthony to try and create that movement in the pockets, and here comes Anthony now, and he's done just that actually.
Cross into the area, just about dealt with by Gabriel. Here's Kiefer Moore, trying to find Lerma on the edge, turned away by Xhaka. Counter-attack opportunity maybe here for Arsenal. Martinelli's got pace to burn, and he will break forward. He's being tracked all the way by Lewis Cook. He'll hold him off for the time being also watched by Mepham. Maybe just stood on the ball at the wrong time. Martinelli, Cook with a tackle back, and Bournemouth can look to clear their lines. Great break by Martinelli, but he was always running into an area where he had very little to no support.
And we've seen a Brazilian do that over the years since he's broke into this Arsenal first team. He's got that pace, he's got that precision dribbling, I like to call it, and he broke the lines very well there, but in the end, like I say, just stood on the ball, and that halted the Arsenal counter-attack. But Arsenal seem pretty happy to play on the counter-attack here. Zamora looks, well, he's already a red card, he's going to have to be careful there, the Bournemouth fullback. Yeah,
so play on resumes as Gabriel will look to take this ball further up the field, away from Kiefer Moore. Now is Zinchenko finding Saliba, the third goal scorer for the Gunners. Partey towards Gabriel once more. A little bit of space for the Brazilian to move into. It's back towards Zinchenko. Ødegaard, watched by Anthony. Support in Bukayo Saka. Looks to take on Zamora. Has Anthony in support as well. Saka back towards Thomas Partey. Little turn away from Billing. Instead goes back towards Zinchenko again. Patient build up here. Jesus, pass blocked by Lewis Cook, turns into the path of Kiefer Moore. There might be an opportunity here for Bournemouth as Anthony then turns straight into traffic, and Partey can poke it out towards Xhaka, and Arsenal come forward again. Here's the Swiss international. White, Saka will try and take on Zamora once more. Quick feet from Saka, away from Zamora, pass with a little flick back towards Xhaka. Martinelli will try and have the overlap in Zinchenko, won't utilise him, gets a shot away, and well, that is pretty woeful from Martinelli. I think he's just trying to make up for the earlier areas he has had, and well, that effort is less talked about that the better.
Yeah, it was a real poor effort from Martinelli, but patient build up from Arsenal. But actually, as well as that, I think it was better defending from Bournemouth that they limited Arsenal the space out wide, limited Arsenal the space in the pockets. The likes of Ødegaard didn't have any time on the ball; they were straight to closing down, and that's what happens when you close down quickly and you don't give these top players time on the ball. I think Philip Billing could be struggling here. Maybe the substitution is impossible. I think he is struggling with an injury. Looks to have a little bit of a limp, and I'm not sure whether Bournemouth are going to make a substitution now.
He's looking over to the bench, which would indicate that he's going to need to come off. It doesn't look at all comfortable with his movement. It looks like he's going to be rotating. It looks like it's going to be the Scottish attacking midfielder Ryan Christie who is going to come on in his stead. So I'm not sure how that's going to means formational wise. It might mean Tavernier drops into the centre of midfield, and then Christie moves into the more attacking areas to support the likes of Anthony and Kiefer Moore. I think that's the most likely of options, but it's an issue, that injury, because Billing is a really important player for this Bournemouth side. I
mentioned it earlier, you know, the Danish international is really dangerous and influential, and not just the breaking up of play that he can do, but you know, he's always amongst the goals. We see it last season, he got himself a fair few goals, and he can set the play up as well, and he's a
shot away that's very much a bit of a toe poke really on the volley. Doesn't get the power, but it's always going away from Travers, and if it's on target you'd still think the goalkeeper should save it, but it would have caused a few issues all the same. Not a bad effort at all there by Martinelli.
It wasn't Granit Xhaka's ball there. We looked to find Gabriel Jesus, who was in a nice pocket of space in between the Bournemouth defence and midfield, but the ball runs straight through for Mark Travers, and again Lloyd Kelly this time gives the ball away, and this was the pattern of the first half for Bournemouth. Lose possession and Granit Xhaka picks the ball back up for Arsenal, plays it to Martin Odegaard on the edge of the ball. Odegaard slips in, Gabriel Jesus is in and he's scored. Arsenal 4, Bournemouth 0. That man again, Gabriel Jesus, 2 last weekend with 2 assists. He got the assist for Odegaard's second goal today, and Odegaard returns the favour after 71 minutes. Jesus with a cool finish from a lovely clipped Odegaard pass. Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 4, Will.
Gabriel Jesus in particular is loving life in North London. He capitalises on poor play from Bournemouth. Odegaard picking it up from Xhaka, sees Jesus. Oh, he might just be offside. It's really hard to tell. Of course, it will be looked at by VAR. We'll have to wait and see, but it's such a cute pass by Odegaard to set off Gabriel Jesus. If he is offside, it's a toe or maybe the tip of the shoulder that might play him offside. It's really hard to say. It will be checked by VAR, but it's a really cute finish as well by Jesus.
I think it's going to be ruled out offside here because it's actually on the edge of the 18-yard box, so you can actually use a line as an offside line, and Jesus' toe looks to be hanging over the line, whereas Mepham's toe looks to be on the line, so it's really close. But then you're pointing out to me there that Zamora, he actually could possibly, I mean, if they're going to zoom in this much and get the pixels out, you've got to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker. That's what VAR said they were going to do, but it looks like they're really zooming in here for the pixels. I just think that when it gets like this is probably VAR at its worst.
Yeah, I think if they need to take 1 to 2 minutes to make a decision, then it's not a clear and obvious error. It should just play on from there. Offside decision has been awarded by the looks of things. The goal is not going to stand. So fortunate there for Bournemouth, unfortunate for Gabriel Jesus. He won't be able to get on the score sheet this time around. It also looked like that Eddie Nketiah might be ready to come on, so he's not going to get a goal today by the looks of things.
He isn't, and I've actually feel for Gabriel Jesus a bit there. I mean, it's a really tight VAR call, and it's 3-0 to Arsenal, so in the grand scheme of things it's not really going to matter, but if that's 2-1 there, or 2-2 for an equaliser or whatever, that's really going to cost points, because that's the way the VAR was zooming in. I just feel like sometimes VAR doesn't cover itself in glory, as Arsenal make a triple substitution with 2 Hale End boys, Eddie Nketiah and Emile Smith-Rowe coming on, as well as the returning Takiro Tomiyasu. Like I said, he made an appearance last week and against Crystal Palace actually, but he's struggling with his injury woes since joining the club, but looking to find full fitness. It's going to be Ben White to make way for Tomiyasu, Odegaard to make way for Smith-Rowe, and Gabriel Martinelli to make way for Eddie Nketiah. What do you think about them 3 changes?
I would imagine Jesus should move on to a wing and Nketiah would play down the middle. But I think the changes, at least 2 of them are ones that we would have expected. Tomiyasu to come on the right-hand side is obviously more of a natural right back than Ben White is. Smith-Rowe coming back from injury, taking up that number 10 role as we come to expect. Give Odegaard a rest, he's done more than enough for today. Nketiah coming off from Martinelli, maybe a little bit surprising. Martinelli probably didn't have his best game in an Arsenal shirt, but he'll still have had a decent run out all the same. And Nketiah, obviously he's got a new contract now, the coveted number 14 shirt as well, and he's got probably about 15 minutes to get his name on the score sheet for his first goal of the season.
Indeed, and like we said, it's just important that these players are getting minutes in their feet, and you've got to feel for the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe. He done little wrong last season, and what a player he is, but when you've got the likes of Odegaard playing as well as he is, it's a happy situation for Mikel Arteta to be in.
Yes, to have that much quality to choose from is always going to be a real positive for him. It's obviously just not going to be happy for the players who are in those contention and not getting picked. It's the joys and the strifes of professional football.
Indeed, and here comes Adam Smith as Bournemouth look to create a threat on the Arsenal goal, and Tavernier looks to come back all the way to Lewis Cook now. Of course, he come on at half-time. The Bournemouth born and bred central midfielder at one time looked like he was going to be the next big thing for Bournemouth, but injuries have really slowed the halt down his career. I mean, he reminds me of a sort of Jack Wilshere, Lewis Cook, as you see formerly of Arsenal and Bournemouth, Jack Wilshere, and you know what a bright future they both had when they were youngsters, but injuries just really stopped them from getting onto that next level.
Injuries really cause a toll for so many players. Obviously, Jack Wilshere is probably the standout candidate in that regard. Had so much potential, had so much quality that could be seen week in, week out, but it just began to derail his career. Hopefully that doesn't happen for these new hailing graduates. Saka has never really been much of an injury-prone player. Smith Rowe is the main issue, though. He's back from an injury, and if he can get a run of games, maybe between 5 and 10 without another injury, it should put him in good stead. The last thing Arsenal fans will want is a repeat of the Wilshere situation.
Indeed, and here's Ryan Christie now, the former Celtic man. He's signed for the big money. He's not quite hit the ground running yet for Bournemouth, but still plenty of time for him to do that across the course of the season. Here's Tavernier against Zinchenko, and he's passed the Ukrainian well, and he's passed Granit Xhaka as he drives in field, but his ball's sloppy to give away, and Gabriel Jesus still full of running, full of energy, and that's why the Arsenal faithful, I should say, love him so much. Zinchenko looks to go long and find Nketiah in behind, but his ball can only find touch, and out for a Bournemouth throw-in as Chris Mepham looks to take in. Mikel Arteta, he still doesn't look very happy on the sideline, does he, as he talks to his coaches, and that's the sort of manager that Mikel Arteta is. He wants perfection, and we've seen in the recent Amazon documentary All or Nothing, and how unhappy I should say he is even when they're winning. And look at Arsenal's next 6 fixtures, I should say: Fulham, Aston Villa, Manchester United. That's the next 3. Do you see? Well, what do you see there? 9 points for Arsenal.
Well, bare minimum 6. I think home games against Fulham and Aston Villa, with the way that Aston Villa have been playing recently, especially away from home, you'd expect Arsenal to get the 3 points there. Fulham have been a bit of a surprise outlet as well. Just peel off as an opportunity here for Tavernier, who's really scuffed his effort going wide of the mark. Really should have been hitting the target bare minimum there from Tavernier after he was found by Kiefer Moore. But yeah, I think Arsenal should be beating Aston Villa. Fulham have shocked me this season. They've actually played very good football. They were really difficult for Liverpool to break down, and maybe really should have won that game. Really should have beaten Wolves as well, of course. Beaten Brentford today. So I think that could be a harder fixture than it might normally look for the Gunners. And Manchester United, well, it's really hard to say really. That could be the week that Ten Hag finally gets what he wants from his side, how he wants them to play, or they could still be playing as poorly as they currently are. So that one is almost impossible to call, really.
Of course, brought in the Brazilian midfielder Casemiro, which looks to be all done and dusted. But yeah, it was a real chance of Bournemouth, just as you was speaking there, and James Tavernier probably should be doing better. It's really soft play from Granit Xhaka, and again Arsenal just a bit complacent. Kiefer Moore's header finds a fantastic save from Aaron Ramsdale, and he holds his hands up to say not sure whether that was going in, but I think that might have been sneaking in, and that's just what Kiefer Moore can offer.
Yeah, Kiefer Moore has got that potential. I think it was going wide. Ramsdale was not to know that at all. It was a decent effort by Moore to get away from Saliba. Ramsdale couldn't take the chance, got a fingertip to it, but it was going wide all the same.
It was, but like you say, when you're on a clean sheet as well, you don't want to be taking chances there, as they've loaded up Ramsdale again here. They obviously feel like he's a bit of a weak touch, but Gabriel heads it away well, and this is going to go behind for another Bournemouth corner. Sustained Bournemouth pressure here on the Arsenal goal, and this is what Scott Parker wants for his team. I'm sure he'll be happy with the character they've shown. Even 3 goals behind, they've not stopped going, not stopped trying to make an inroad on this Arsenal team, and I'm sure the home crowd can respect the efforts of their players.
Yeah, they're looking dangerous at the moment, Bournemouth. It's the best bit of attacking play, at least sustained-wise, that we've seen over the course of this game. Let's see what they can do from this corner.
Tavernier's ball in, looks for the header. Kiefer Moore at the back post. He's going to find it. Moore heads it back across. Emile Smith-Rowe with a clearance. Now Gabriel Jesus looks to lead the counter-attack. Him and Eddie Nketiah. But I tell you what, Adam Smith is a great tackle, and he loves a challenge, Adam Smith, doesn't he? I've seen that today 3 or 4 times for him, and it's a good tackle from Nketiah there, who first time I've really mentioned him, so he's been full of legs on the counter-attack, as Zinchenko's going to have a throw-in just in their own half. But as we look at the stats for the second half, Bournemouth obviously in the first half, no shots, none on target, no touches in the Arsenal box, and had about 23% possession. This half, they've had 4 shots, 2 on target, 9 in the Arsenal box, which is more than Arsenal have had in their box, and more possession. So the second half performance of Bournemouth has had a lot, of promising signs, and whether that's because of the change of personnel or the change of shape, Scott Parker, what he said at half-time, it's worked.
There's a lot of positives that Scott Parker can take from this second half performance of this Bournemouth side. However, I think the real crux of the issue is that you just don't know where the goal is going to come from for Bournemouth. Yes, defensively they've looked better despite conceding one, arguably two, with one that's obviously been called for offside. Kiefer Moore, I think, is a good striker. I think the midfield needs a lot of work for Bournemouth for me. I think they need more creativity in that front line if they are going to have a chance of staying up. And although, you know, they have played better in this second half, I still don't think that the way they're playing is really Premier League quality. They need something to change.
They do indeed, and Bukayo Saka plays the ball into Gabriel Jesus here, and Bournemouth, yeah, like you say, they need a change, but Dominic Solanke out injured, it's not going to help him, and he got a boatload of goals last season. He's never quite been able to cut it in the Premier League, but is that a change for him this season? Can he get off the mark and really get firing and in turn keep the cherries up as Arsenal win the ball back well there with Zinchenko and Nketiah? It does look like Nketiah might have actually taken up a role on the left-hand side of Jesus, still through the middle. It was interesting to see whether Jesus would come out wide, but it looks like it was like for like, and Nketiah's actually on the left-hand side, just like Martinelli was. Sorry, was you going to say something?
Nothing really of major notes. I mean, it's just, from what I've noticed, Eddie Nketiah doesn't really seem to be that effective on the wing at the moment. I'm surprised he is still being stuck out on the wing, because we know Jesus can play on a wing from his time at Manchester City. The fact that Nketiah is still being kept on this left-hand side, I'm not sure if Arteta's wanting to maybe do a little bit of a formational change, wanting to be more sort of adept to playing in other roles so he can actually get more game time. But at the moment, it just doesn't seem to be working out for him.
Fantastic work there from Ryan Christie to beat Thomas Partey, and he's found Tavernier, but his ball, and that's just sums up Bournemouth's half so far. A good bit of work from Christie, and the pass isn't quite good enough as Tavernier finds Lewis Cook, and Lewis Cook plays it out now to Kelly, who finds Zamora on this far left-hand side. Zamora looks to get his cross in. Jayden Anthony now, sorry, that was not Zamora, but he's found Zamora. Zamora back to Anthony. Anthony looks to find Kelly now as ball have a bit of possession, but Arsenal look solid and secure in their shape and hard to break down, and something that's not always necessarily been the case of Arsenal teams. A neat flick from Kiefer Moore, but Tomiyasu is all over him, but Moore is doing well to hold the ball up. That's where he's effective. Zamora drives into the Arsenal penalty area. He beats Bukayo Saka, puts the ball across the goal, but it's straight into the arms of Ramsdale. But again, better play from Bournemouth, and good play from the wing back there, Zamora.
Yeah, it was a really good play by Bournemouth. Zamora breaking into the area. Not sure if it's a cross, not sure if it's a shot. Either way, it's very much scuffed and goes calmly into the arms around Ramsdale. But one thing that's really shot me is that I did not realise the turn of pace that Kiefer Moore actually has. Despite being a big man, he is a pretty quick player and really could cause a lot of Premier League defence's issues on his days. He gets the ball here.
Set pretty quickly. He's actually delivered a great cross there as well, but I'm sure he want that kind of service into him rather than, you know, the big 6'5" centre forward whipping in balls to, well, Jayden Anthony, who's not the tallest. As Thomas Partey brings down Ryan Christie there, and is that going to be the customary Thomas Partey yellow card? I think it might be. I mean, if it isn't, then Craig Pawson has let him get away with one there, because it's a bit of a cynical foul really. Christie's beat Partey, put in a dangerous position, and Partey's just stuck a leg out and brought him down. He knows exactly what he's doing, and this is Bournemouth's first real sight of goal, and it's actually a real chance to test Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, it's an unnecessary foul to give away Thomas Partey there in a position that could be very favourable for Bournemouth. I'm unaware of the quality of the set piece takers they have. I know Billing has got a good free kick in him, of course. He's gone off injured. Tavernier Marcus Tavernier obviously isn't as known for his free kicks as his brother James is, of course, but he's standing over it, as is Jayden Anthony. It looks like it's going to be one or the other in that regard, and well, in the position they're in, they're surely not going to cross it in. They've got to go for goal and hopefully test Aaron Ramsdale in the Arsenal goal. Marcus
Tavernier, actually watched him a few times at Middlesbrough, and I have seen him score a few free kicks, so not to put the mockers on him, but I think you favour his left foot here, and like I say, it's a real dangerous position because it's just far enough out where you can get it up and over the wall and really test Aaron Ramsdale. So it'll be interesting to see who's on this. Is it going to be the ex-Arsenal man Jayden Anthony, or is it going to be the former Middlesbrough man Marcus Tavernier, as Emil Smith-Rowe does the new tactic in today's game of lying behind the wall in case they try to go low, the low route. Quite clever, really. I think the first player I see do that was Cesar Azpilicueta, and here's Marcus Tavernier strike, and it's just into the side netting. A few Bournemouth fans behind the goal thought that was in. I see them celebrating, and poor Aaron Ramsdale, he looked pretty confident it was going wide, but it looked close to them I think he thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I thought it was in the back of the net as well. So really tantalising delivery there by Tavernier, trying to curl it round the wall. Does so, just doesn't get the remaining curl required to go into the bottom right-hand corner. But Ramsdale, like you mentioned, always looked confident that was going to go wide. It was good goalkeeping in the end to not have to go for it, and he has a little bit of a celebration with his defenders. Obviously, like as you mentioned earlier, the documentary All or Nothing of Arsenal, I think it's safe to say that everyone now knows how much Aaron Ramsdale values a clean sheet.
Indeed, and see the frustration when Arsenal do concede in the dressing room after. And here's Bukayo Saka against Zamora. Safe to say that Saka's come out on top in that duel so far. Zinchenko is one-on-one with Smith. Xhaka again occupying that role, I should say, on the left-hand side as the ball finds its way all the way back to William Saliba, of course, the scorer of Arsenal's third goal, with a sumptuous left-footed strike from outside the area, and a long ball, raking ball from Tomiyasu, found Granit Xhaka on the edge of the box, who's finding Gabriel Jesus. Is that his goal? No, it isn't. What a save. Bukayo Saka, I tell you what as well. Lloyd Kelly, that is an absolutely fantastic block on the rebound. Mark Travers denies Gabriel Jesus, though, of his opening goal for today.
Yeah, it's a lovely pass by Xhaka. I thought for all the world he was going to have a shot, and I probably wouldn't have blamed him for doing so as well. Thread it through to Jesus, again unsure if he's onside or not. Shot is straight at Travers. It's a good save, but like you mentioned, it's really brave, brilliant defending by Lloyd Kelly to throw his body at the rebound to ensure that his goal is defended.
Looking at the replay again, Jesus should actually do better. It looked like a really good save from Travers, and it's not a bad save at all. He pushed it away from danger, but saying that, the shot from Jesus is... It's struck with power, but it's struck straight at the goalkeeper. And here come two more Arsenal changes. The final two changes of the day is Bukayo Saka's going to make way for Kieran Tierney, and Granit Xhaka will make way for Albert Sambi Lokonga. So we will not be seeing Fabio Vieira today, but we'll be seeing two stars that, again, have had their injury woes at the end of last season and the start of this. Kieran Tierney and Albert Sambi Lokonga, and that's Arsenal's 5 substitutes done for the day.
Yes, indeed it is. I would imagine Tierney will move into his usual left-back position. Might mean Zinchenko's moved further up the field, maybe into a left midfield side of things. Jesus is taking the captain's armband in response to Xhaka being replaced. But yeah, we're going to see a bit more of Lokonga. I'd imagine if we are going to see a Vieira debut, it's probably Arteta would prefer him coming on in front of the Arsenal fans rather than an away game. But it probably still would have suited him to come on to get the last few minutes. But with 2 minutes remaining, because added on time, still don't think it's going to affect the result of this game whatsoever.
It doesn't, and wow, what does that just say about Gabriel Jesus and just his third game for the club? He's wearing the captain's armband. It shows the influence he's had on the team and just how valued he is within the squad and by his manager. Obviously, Kieran Tierney's on the pitch. You'd expect him is probably the most suitable replacement for that armband if Xhaka and if Ødegaard are not on the pitch. But the number 9 for Arsenal's got it as Kieran Tierney's chasing down Chris Mepamir, and Tierney looks to take a bit of a forward role here. I'm not quite sure the position he's playing. It looks like it could be left wing.
That's the case, and that is absolutely bizarre. I mean, he's got a great cross on him, and he scored a few shots from outside the area in his time at the Gunners. But yeah, pressed from the front, it was almost very reminiscent of fellow Scottish left back Andy Robertson.
It was indeed, and here's Alexander Zinchenko now with a throw in a dangerous position thanks to that Kieran Tierney pressure. Full of energy, the Scot, as he always is. And Eddie Nketiah brings the ball down now, and he's hurried by a bit Marcus Tavernier, but he holds onto the ball well. And here's Zinchenko back to Lokonga, his first involvement of the match, as he finds Gabriel, who finds William Saliba. Saliba now back to his centre-half partner, Gabriel, who looks to go long. It's a searching ball for Emil Smith-Rowe, but Smith-Rowe gets a beautiful flick on it, finds Gabriel Jesus, who will be able to see out this game now. And Smith-Rowe, lovely through ball into Eddie Nketiah, and then again it's Mark Travers that can deny the Arsenal forwards of a 4th goal, and this time it's Eddie Nketiah, and again Travers does really well, but Arsenal come again with Thomas Partey and now Emil Smith-Rowe. But Bournemouth win the ball back. What do you think about that chance there?
I mean, it falls very kindly to Nketiah. He hits it hard and low. He doesn't get it enough in the corner for me. It's still a good save by Travers, but Travers reads it from very early on where Nketiah is looking to go. He tries to place it into the corner, doesn't get the required accuracy to that far corner, and Travers makes a good save.
Similar sort of angle to the one that Gabriel Jesus had, and similar sort of outcome as well, with Mark Travers making a save. And Kieran Tierney is on his left-hand side, but Zinchenko's still in the left-back role, so looks like Tierney's actually in the left wing role now, with perhaps Jesus right wing and Ketia up front. So sort of makeshift Arsenal front three for now, as Jefferson Lerma wins the ball back for Bournemouth, and 4 minutes the fourth official has indicated for stoppage time. So we've played 30 seconds of that now, so a little over 3 minutes left of this contest. Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 3. How do you think this fares going into the next round of fixtures for these two teams?
I mean, for Arsenal, they have a very favourable round of fixtures. Like I mentioned earlier, I think 6 points is probably what is to be at the very least expected from the Gunners. Bournemouth, well, I think it's safe to say chances are that they are going to lose their game at Anfield against Liverpool. After that, though, they need to start getting points on the board. I think 4 points from the next 3 games would serve them very nicely.
Indeed. The trip to Molineux, of course, after Anfield, and well, actually, I beg your pardon, I think they're actually hosting Wolves rather than a trip to Molineux. So Wolves at home, I think that's a favourable fixture at the moment. Obviously, Wolves lost earlier today in the early kick-off against Tottenham, but they impressed me as Gabriel Jesus is named the player of the match, and I don't think many people can have too many questions about that. Again, the Brazilian centre-forward, as a lot of Arsenal forwards have been today, to be fair, have just been really, really dangerous. I think Martin Ødegaard as well, he scored 2 goals early on. He's been dangerous on the ball, and well, could have had an assist to his name as well if Gabriel Jesus wasn't adjudged to have been offside. As Bournemouth come now on the attack with Zamora. Zamora's searching for Jayden Anthony, I beg your pardon. And Anthony switches the ball to Adam Smith. Smith now on the right hand side looks to find Kiefer Moore. He does just that, and Moore's up, but it's straight into the arms of Aaron Ramsdale. But just shows you what Kiefer Moore can do. I mean, both Arsenal centre backs are around him there, and Moore still manages to get his header away.
Yeah, he's a very difficult man to mark for the aerial crosses into the area. Like you mentioned, 2 defenders surrounding Moore. He's still got a head onto it. It was on target. Ramsdale doing well to get over. He's really just struggled to get any form of power onto his header there, Kiefer Moore. I think he's been one of the few shining lights in this Bournemouth side today.
Ramsdale's long kick forward. Eddie Nketiah chase it down, but he's adjudged to have fouled Lewis Cook there, and I don't think he can have too many queries about that. It was a little nudge in the back, but more than enough to knock Lewis Cook onto the ground.
Yeah, it was a very cynical foul by Eddie Nketiah, unnecessary. And well, Bournemouth got another free kick. About a minute left to get any form of consolation. You struggle to see where that chance is going to be created from, and you can see a lot of the vitality is already emptied now. Yeah,
Bournemouth's chances have been few and far between, we should say. As credit to Arsenal as well, though, defensively, you know, over the last few years, you'd say they're a bit of a soft touch, but Arteta seems to want to change that, and of course bringing William Saliba, he feels like a new signing, even though he's been at the club for going on 3 years now, but obviously various loan moves in France at Marseille and Saint Etienne, and now very much a part of this Arsenal back four, and him and Gabriel, clean sheet against Crystal Palace, obviously shipped 2 last week against Leicester, but another clean sheet on the road, back-to-back clean sheets on the road. Real positive signs for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal side, as Thomas Partey finds Tomiyasu now on the right hand side for Arsenal. Tomiyasu finds Gabriel Jesus. Is there time for Arsenal to get a 4th goal? Jesus' attempted pass is blocked. The ball finds its way back to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu finds a lovely pass in between to Thomas Partey, and Nketiah finds Emile Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe gets his shot away, but in real, well, it's not a bad shot from Emile Smith-Rowe, but it's not really ever going to trouble Travers. It's straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, and that's the full-time whistle has blown at the Vitality Stadium. Arsenal have won by 3 goals to 0. 2 Martin Ødegaard goals inside the opening 10 minutes, followed by a goal from William Saliba. How could I forget that? William Saliba strike on the edge of the area, as Arsenal are comfortable in the end and well worth their 3-0 win. Back-to-back clean sheets on the road. Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 3.
Hello everyone, we're raring to go. Our venue for this game is the Vitality Stadium. My name is Derek Ray, excited to be bringing you match commentary, and alongside me, my broadcast